Hey everybody, this is Toby Younis with the Gypsy Kiss. Thanks for joining me today. My partner Shelley Carney is traveling, but we've got a fun show for you today. We're going to recap TTOTC, so stick with me a couple of seconds. Geez, I don't know why everything feels like it's loud to me today. So I don't have my housekeeping slide, but
Housekeeping, you want towels?
you want those? So we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do before we get started. So number one, Shelley is traveling today, and so she's not going to be on the show, and she's not going to be producing in the room. As a matter of fact, I just got a text message saying that she and her family had just arrived at BWI, Baltimore Washington International Airport, just north and slightly east of Washington, D.C., and they're headed for Virginia. And so she won't be with us today, and that therefore I'm not going to crack open a bottle of wine because it wouldn't be any fun to drink a bottle of wine by yourself. Plus, I would end up falling asleep this afternoon. And then secondly, I want to limit this program to talking about The Thrill of the Chase, meaning the book, The Thrill of the Chase, as written, the memoir written by Forrest Fenn. And I'm going to do that in two ways. Number one, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask questions about it. And so it's hard for me to keep track in the chat room of what's going on. So I'm going to ask you to do me the favor of, if you have a question about The Thrill of the Chase, Forrest Fenn's first memoir, send me a text to 1-800-947-1043. You can see it on the screen right there. So either that, or the phone lines are open so you can call me. So I want to stick to, talking about the book itself and what we've discovered in the past 27 or 28 weeks that we've talked about it with Shelley's analyses and with our conversations. And I do want you to know that what we're going to try to do is take all those analyses that Shelley produced, and we're going to try and put them into one large document, a book, if you will, and we'll make that available to the search community in case that's something that you wanted. And you've already heard how Shelley does the analysis, so you'll have a good sense of what's the contents of each one of those. It has, the various paragraphs. Each one consisted of a paragraph or two from the book, and then her commentary on it. And she was very detailed. It's based on her study of people and her, her certification as a relationship coach. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that this, as of this moment, is likely the last time you will see a Gypsy's Kiss on Thursdays. And the reason is Shelley and I, so we get a lot of questions about what are you planning to do if someone finds the treasure? And it isn't us. Well, our plan is to stay on for about a month to let things calm down. It may be longer if the finder announces that they want to do different things. We're not going to expect that the finder's going to be on our channel. They'll be too busy making the big rounds, but we'll stay on a month and see where it goes from that. The question at that point is, what do we do with a Gypsy's Kiss? And I think one of the options that we've considered is that we go on to other treasure hunts. So we're exploring that. One of the bits of research that we're doing is what other treasure hunts, one or more of those treasure hunts, will give us enough content because we've got 5 years worth of time and effort and research in all of this. So coming up with content is, I don't want to say it's relatively easy, but we've got a basis for it. There's a lot of material out there that's the basis for additional research. Going into a new treasure hunt would be starting from scratch and figuring out whether or not what the viability is, et cetera, et cetera. But there is the benefit. In addition to that, there's a couple of YouTube channels that already do that, and we don't necessarily want to compete with them. So that's one option. One option is we let go of Fenn's treasure and we head out towards, on a Gypsy's Kiss, onto others' treasures. And Gypsy's Kiss, the brand, is associated with treasure hunts, whether it's Fenn or anybody else's, and that's where it'll stay. So in addition to that, Shelley and I are looking at the evolution of her channel, the softer side, and what we can do there to build it out and see if it has the same kind of potential. And we're also looking at other areas. And the other areas that we're looking at, we both have the necessary skills and experience to do them, but it's completely different from anything that we've done thus far. What we do, it's like the difference between the science of what we do on a Gypsy's Kiss and the art of doing something else. So it's literally diametrically opposed to, in terms of content production, to what we're doing right now. But it has a significantly sized market on YouTube. And so it's intrigued us, and again, because we have the necessary skills in terms of content production, in terms of research and content production, and ability to entertain in that segment of the market, it's one of the places that we're exploring. So in order to ensure we're prepared for that, what we've decided to do is start using our Thursdays to begin broadcasting on that channel. We'll tell you more about it. You may or may not have an interest in it. It's like I said, diametrically opposed from where we are on this channel. But you, like I said, you may have an interest on it. I'm not prepared to make any announcements today. I want to make sure that Shelley's sitting right next to me as we do this jointly. And then I want to give you some direction about what to do if you want to participate in that. But for the moment, our intent is, as of today, this is the last time we will have a book club meeting on Thursday. Our Thursdays will be spent on another channel. So I wanted you to know that, and it's not, we're not leaving a Gypsy's Kiss. We're not, as long as the treasure is out there, we will continue to produce content. The book club is probably our, I want to say our lowest rated, but nothing is low. You guys are always very responsive to what we're doing. But it's the one that we can say, okay, well, the book club is over. We thought, and I had conversations with, and I kind of promised Joe that we were going on to Too Far to Walk, but we looked at the numbers and we realized that Too Far to Walk probably has about half the interest that the Thrill of the Chase did, and Once Upon a While has half the interest that Too Far to Walk does. So it was a kind of a downhill slide from that, and it gave us the opportunity to say, let's explore this other area without making a great big commitment, start building content for it. We have some ideas about how to expand into that topic area. And then when we're ready to kind of launch it, and when we get to that point, it could be several weeks from now, that we spend time building content and exploring it, seeing what kind of response we have, and then we'll announce that we have a new channel. And again, you may have an interest in it, you may not. But until the treasure is found, we will maintain a Gypsy's Kiss. You will see the lineup on Mondays, the vlog on Tuesdays, the panel on Wednesdays, the It's All About You on Friday afternoons, and I will continue doing the Friday Fandangos on Friday evening. But again, if you look at how we're going to make the transition once the treasure is found, the next one to go out of the lineup will probably be the Friday Fandango, because in this new market that we're exploring, that happens to be a really big night, especially if you're live streaming. So, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. None of these decisions are this week, next, or even probably before the end of the year. So there's that. But again, we'll be here producing content on Gypsy's Kiss until the treasure is found. So that's the third thing. There was something else I was going to tell you. Dang nabbit, I can't remember. Okay, so what I had plans for today is I'm going to have a difficult time watching the chat room because I have to look at all the chat rooms and it just literally comes floating by. Oh, hey, Brit Chaser, look what I have for you. I found that for you. And there's K-Pros in the house. And the Raven's Nest. So I'm going to ask your dispensation for 60 seconds. And that is, I have a text message that I absolutely have to respond to, and I have to I can't get around it. I've got to type to do that. So please just bear with me 60 seconds. I promise not to do this to you again. Just give me 60 seconds. Okay, done. So I got to get back to the keyboard here. Just a minute. All right. That was one of my daughters, East Coast daughters. The one so that's the other thing. Next week, Shelley and I will be back next week with kind of a full complement of our programming. And then the week after that, I will be traveling to the East Coast starting on Thursday, coming back on Friday. So we won't be doing any Thursday or Friday programming. Although I did buy a new laptop that has the power and performance to kind of do our programming. So we'll see what we do with Thursday. Thursdays are as far as we are concerned, Thursdays have migrated to our other product, our other channel. But I might be able to swing Friday Fandango from Boca Raton, Florida. So that should be danged interesting because I'll have to start at 9 o'clock. Okay. Then the other thing that I wanted you to know is if you need to reach out considering the discussions that we're having today, please send a text message or call me at 1-800-947-1043 because I just can't follow all the chat. I've got Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and YouTube going here, and it's just screaming by. I won't be able to catch up. And on Facebook, importantly, because your Facebook messages are slow on my Restream IO. So if you're sitting on Facebook and you have a question about the things that we're talking about, please send me a text message. Otherwise, I just won't see it. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. Okay. So let's see what we got. There's Heather Dawn's in the room. Aaron Ramsey's in the room. Let me say our hellos first, and then I'll start with what we're going to do today. And what we're going to do today is on the screen over here that I'll be sharing with you in just a moment is my copy of the searchable version of The Thrill of the Chase. Soon after I purchased my first copy of The Thrill of the Chase, I had a transcriptionist or whatever typist, I guess, at that point. I asked them to take The Thrill of the Chase, and I gave them the specifications of what I wanted, and they transcribed The Thrill of the Chase onto a Microsoft Word document, which made it searchable at that point. And I asked them to keep the same format. If you look at the pages, except for the pictures and the illustrations, the pages are formatted the same way. So one of the questions that will invariably come up when I mention this is, can you share that with the community up to and including Sally? I've been offered up to $300 for the thing, which is about what it cost me to have it transcribed, by the way. I think it was around $250 to $275. I've had the other books transcribed as well. I have a transcription of Too Far to Walk, and I have a transcription of Once Upon a While. And the reason I did it is because I wanted to make them searchable. So if I had questions like, how many times is the word window used, I can answer that question. Anyway, I have The Thrill of the Chase sitting here in front of me, and what I'd like to do as soon as I finish saying hi to the room is if you have any questions that I can answer. Oh, well, let me go back to the invariably asked question. So invariably I'm asked, do you want to sell your copy? I can't, nor would I. It's illegal. That would be a copyright infringement. It would prevent you effectively from buying The Thrill of the Chase. So I can't share it. I can't give it to you free. I can't sell it because that inhibits sales, and that's where you break the copyright law. So I can't do that. But if you ask me a question about it, about the contents of the book, I can answer that question. So that's what we're going to do today as soon as I finish going through here. Okay, so hey, Dak. Dak was first in the room. Dave Erickson, you get for being second, but making a point to say that you weren't second. Jimmy Fast, my man, is in the room. Journeyman, hey, Journeyman. Bill Cross from Texas. K-Pro's in the room, and we already greeted her. Follow me down. Jimmy Fast is drinking beer. Oh, no, that's for K-Pro. K-Pro's drinking beer. Let me see who else. Brit Chaser is in the room. Yeah, Brit Chaser, how do you manage to get any sleep, for gosh sakes? Louis, hey, Louis, in the room. Greg Ferguson from Moab, Utah. Joe S. Allie Jeffs from Clovis. I don't see Sean. Are they just on one screen today? So hi, Allie, welcome. Rick Plank from Cincinnati. Gary Sandberg. I always think of Gary Sandling. Who was that comedian that had his own show? Holly. Hi, Holly. David Dow's in the room. Afternoon, sir. Let's go down the line here. Okay, not the line of chatting. Steve Hagan. Hey, Steve. Nice to see you. Oh no, I'm not gonna blow the secret. Never mind. We're tap control. My lips are sealed. Let's see. Where was following going? Oh, follow me down. Had to go back to work. Hey, Aaron, how are you doing? Heather Dawn, how are you doing today? What happened to your Buffalo Cherokee thing? What happened to that? I need to get a walk-in for you. Nikolai. That was supposed to be a treasure hunt. Yeah. It is supposed to be a treasure hunt. What do we do? It's still a treasure hunt, Nikolai. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. We're still hunting for treasure. And one of us is gonna find that treasure. And I'm hoping that it's found in the next 12 months. How's that? Patricia Marin, buenos días, la de Dios. Jimmy Fast, Greg Ferguson, let's see. 23 Monarca. 23 Monarca. Oh, I didn't load it. 23 Monarca, I have a sound for you when I see you make one of your pronouncements. Jonah, 1777. Sean Martinez, there he is. So, oh, dang nabbit. Shelley always pronounces this stuff. I say Shady Lay, but Shelley pronounces your name differently. Shadilly? Shadley? I'm sorry. I probably massacred that. AGK, please search for idea. The next to last is okay. Louis, you have to request that via the 800 number. I'm going to make everybody use the 800 number today. Okay, Steve from Oregon. Steve, I said say hi to Steve. Lisa Smith, hi from Washington. Is that D.C. or Washington State, Lisa? Let's see. Lori Barnes. Gary Shandling. Thank you. Yeah, I thought he was a funny guy. They had the characters that he had on. He had a couple of characters on his program that were just funnier than the Dickens. Brit Chaser, it's 8 p.m. here. That's okay. After so many hours fun last night, I didn't get much sleep, admittedly. Oh, it was a ball last night, wasn't it? Steve Gahagan has a secret with Toby. Do tell. I'm doing the K-Pro. My lips are sealed. Oh, wait, no, K-Pro doesn't do that. So, Lisa, I promised myself I wasn't going to comment on this, but I guess I have to say something. So, this morning somebody asked how I felt about the attack upon me last night. So I'm going to tell you a story just to give you some context. In my first tour in Vietnam, I was with a platoon of ARVN Rangers that I was guiding to a secure area to establish a DAR site. And we were going through a village that had been cleared, we had been told had been cleared. And as I was going through the village with my platoon members on either in front of me and behind me, I passed a hooch, a empty hooch, what I thought was empty. And when I passed it, a young Vietnamese communist in what always looked like black pajamas to me popped out. And he pointed his AK-47 at my chest and he pulled the trigger. We both heard the firing pin strike the bullet on the primer. And it didn't explode. It didn't go off. Now, I have to qualify this by saying this all happened in the blink of an eye, although I can describe it very clearly because it was all in slow motion. He and I both stood there for just a second because we both expected that I was going to be dead. The bullet would have come out of the barrel of his rifle, entered my chest, blown a big hole in the front and a bigger hole in the back. When that didn't happen, we both had to react. His reaction was to lunge at me with the bayonet that's on the front of an AK-47 assault rifle. It's conical in shape. He lunged at my throat, and to avoid being stabbed by a bayonet in my throat, I leaned over and I took the bayonet in my shoulder. And here's the scar. I don't know if you can see that. It went out my back. I had enough presence of mind to raise the AR-15 that was in my right hand, and I emptied my magazine into him, blowing him back, leaving the AK-47 stuck in my shoulder. I watched him bleed out in front of me. The reason I'm telling you this story is because that's how I define an attack. That's an attack. Whatever happens after that is pretty much white noise. And that's how I treat it. And that's the last word I will say on that topic. Okay? So let's switch over to this. And I hope now what you can see is my copy, my Microsoft Word copy of The Thrill of the Chase. And it is searchable. So if you want me to search for something, either send me a text message or, even more fun, call me so I can use all this grand technology. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to mention. As we're exploring these other markets in terms of what we're going to do after the chase ends, one of the benefits that we've had as a result of trying to produce more and better content is that we've built this amazing platform between the hardware, the analog hardware, the digital hardware, and the software that enables us really to create a kind of environment on any channel that we've created here with all this kind of cool technology. And so I've made a big investment in time and effort and money learning this. I feel like as a 69-year-old, I know more about this than a lot of people half my age. And I wanted to leverage that. Part of the fun for this, so there's a lot of reasons I do this. There's a little bit of money, but I'm taken care of. I built my retirement income. I'm taken care of until the day I die, and then my children are going to get some money, right? So I don't need to make money. We make a little bit, but it's a lot less than anybody would expect. I do this for a couple of other reasons. Number one, the research into producing the research that I have to do in order to produce the content keeps my mind stimulated. And so as a 69-year-old, I feel like I have a very active mind and I don't feel like I'm going off the edge. Yes, I forget things, and Shelley reminds me that I forget things, but she knows that I forget things. And mostly it's things that I don't need to remember. I don't think I need to remember anyway. But the other thing is that technology has always excited me. I'm a techno geek. I mean, how many 69-year-olds do you know are flying drones with infrared cameras on them? Okay, so I'm a techno geek, and the other thing that enables me to do is kind of keep up to date on all of this thing. I mean, we're using YouTube in a way that kind of pushes the boundaries of what YouTube has to offer. And so we feel like we can go to any market and explore that market just based on the technology and make some headway into that market. And again, for no more reason that we want to try it out, that we want to learn more, that we want to experience more, that we want to keep our brains stimulated. And so that's why we're continuing to do these things. I don't have to do this. It's not literally a money issue. If I wanted to, I could sit out on my porch and drink wine and eat cheese and apple slices all afternoon. But to me, that's the last. I don't want to die that way. I want to die like right here, trying to figure out why my boss jock on my iPad isn't getting out here at the right audio level. That would be a perfect death for me. You know, this is the equivalent of my treasure chest, and this is where I want my body to fall. So when people find me, I want them to come in and go like, oh, he died right there on top of his keyboard. Yep, that's the way he would have wanted to go. So that's where I'm at with that. Okay, so what you Whew, a lot of segues. I need Shelley here just to keep us on track, right? Slides and Shelley keep me on track. This is, as you can see, a Word a document that is searchable, and I have one. Let me see who sent this. Please search for the word idea. The next to the last occurrence is the idea for the chase. All right, so what I can do here is I can go to, so bear with me as I click on this, and I type in the word idea. And what happens is Word comes back and tells me there are 7 matches. Now, when you do the search this way, it also gives you the words that have idea in them. So it looks to me like of the 7 instances of the word idea, let me see, 1, 2, 3 of the 7 instances are ideas. Now, if I wanted to make sure that I isolated just the word idea, I'd start with a space, write the word idea, and finish with a space, and that tells me I have 3 matches with the word idea. But the word idea is used 7 times in the chase. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And remember, do me a favor and at least tell me your name and where you're calling from. So let's see, the word. All right, can you search the word endeavor for Brit Chaser and read a bit before and after the word? They can't send text from the UK. You know what, Brit Chaser? You have a special dispensation. I just realized if you're out of the country, you can't use the 1-800 number. Please feel free to put it in the chat, and I'll try to keep it. I'll keep an eye out for you sending it. So we're going to try for the word endeavor. We're going to start with the space ENDEVOR, and I'm going to use the English spelling first. Endeavor, and there's nothing. Oh, I mean the American spelling. So let's try the endeavor. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. He uses the VOR spelling, and there are 3 matches. And let me give you the pages. So page 4, I'll read the paragraph. I tend to use some words that aren't in the dictionary, and others that are, I bend a little. My only goal is in this endeavor is to talk about a few of my life experiences, and if any readers over the age of 12 don't see a little in themselves in this mirror, then maybe they deserve another turn. So that's the first instance. The second instance is... let me do that again. Second instance is on page 27. And let me read the sentence. Oh, that is a long... So he's referring to Miss Ford, his Spanish teacher. She was going to flunk me anyway, so what difference did it make? I was beginning to learn where the edges were, and later in life it would come to me that one of the great mistakes of human endeavor has been the belief that wealth and fame could always equate with intelligence. And then the third instance is on page 103. When this realization hit me, at last I knew, if I cannot enrich those with whom I interact each day and cause them to be better for my having passed their view, then I have wasted my turn. That I succeeded in this endeavor is not as important as it is for me to make a solid try. For it is the try. For if the try is sincere, I have succeeded in whatever failure resulted. 3 instances. So, okay, K-Pro, I just got that. Thank you. Let's see. You were born, let's see. Let's see. So, this isn't a question. I'll read it to you. It's from Fast Eddie. He said, you were born in 49. What month? I was born in January of 1949. My dad and you are the same age. He was in Vietnam also. SEAL Team 2, thanks. Ask him if he was down in the Mekong Delta at all, because I used to hang out with a group of SEALs from down there. That was before, when they were more like riverines than they were SEALs. But I don't remember the SEAL team number, but ask him if it was the Mekong Delta, especially further south around Kamau, because I used to hang out with a group of SEALs. I got, as a matter of fact, that's another story. And I know how personal that was for you. Thanks for sharing. Well, Eddie Fast, the reason I told it is not so that I could, I just have to put things in context, right? So after you have that kind of life-changing experience, because that's what it was, you earn a whole new respect for life when you realize how close you came to losing it. Everything after that is white noise, and if you treat it that way, then you can move on with your life and not worry about the small things, and that's what they are, the small things. Okay, I think that's it in terms of questions, huh? So I think that's it. So no more questions about the thrill of the chase. We're going to have a short show today. A short show. I don't see anything on the Sam Leno. Sam, what we're doing is, did you come in the middle of my story? Don't worry about it. What we're doing is, if you have a question about, and you can't do it because you're in the UK too. So, okay, well, if there is nothing else, we'll just have a short show today, and I can go get some groceries. Unless you guys make sure if you have one more question. Let's see. Aaron Ramsey says, HEK, so you've copied TTOC and are believing that you are skirting copyright violations by only showing copied books on the live show and answering questions to those who pay Super Chat. Toby, you rascal. No, Aaron, I haven't asked anybody to pay Super Chat. I'm doing, so I haven't received any Super Chat, nor, honestly, have I asked for any. So before you say something, you should probably deal with the facts, right? Has nothing to do. Okay. All right. If there are no more questions, oops, there's one. Sorry, I did get one. So this is Holly. Is this Holly H. Hurd? All right, she's asking if I can search for mud and dumb. So, Holly, the big question is, do you want me to search for mud as an independent word, meaning space before or an after, or do you want it to be part of another word? So let's do it. Let's do it space before and after first, okay? So let's do space, mud, space. There is one instance of the word mud in the book. There was lots of killing and mud and bombs and dead horses. I read about, so it sounds like he's referring to the misassociated book, World War I. He claims was He gave the book the wrong name. Let me see. That's the only time the full word mud is used. So let me see if it happens curiously in other places without the spaces in front of it. I don't know any words that have the word or the letters MUD consecutively in them, but we should know. No, that is the only use of the word mud, either as an individual word, or any place in any other word. I can't think of another word that has the mud in it. Let's try your dumb. I think I've done this particular search before. Dumb. Yeah, there are 20. Oh, I'm sorry. There are 8 matches of the word dumb in the book. Let me look at the pages here real quick. So the first one is on page 10. You could almost guess how slow the dumb line was moving. The only register guy in the place was showing more patience than me. So there's a second one on page 12. That idiot. So now everyone in the whole dumb store started staring at me and not at him. Page 20. Besides, I could cross the dumb street anytime I wanted to, and it was stupid of them to say I couldn't. Page 48. Let's see. Anyway, Grandma told the guy that she'd given me the dumb pie, and it was her right because she'd made it on her break. Page 56. In Wyoming, between Shoshone and Casper, we had some kind of slight misunderstanding, and I told him just to stop the dumb car and let me out. Page 60. Well, the first night, we couldn't get the dumb fire started, and we had already used most of our matches, so we very wisely wadded up one of K-Pro's maps and hoped that it would be forgiven that one small foible. That was a joke. Page 61. But Donnie got in a serious swivet. Remember, we've seen that word recently. And wouldn't speak to me for a while, except to say that our unfortunate adventure was ill-conceived, dumb thought out. Oh, that's interesting. Dumb thought out, and I was overrated like my horse. And then the last one is on page 70. I remember falling twice while trying to get through the dumb barbed wire fence. So those are all the instances of the word dumb. Okay, got another text message here. This is K-Pro, the word inside. Let's see what we've got here. I don't think I have to start at the beginning, but let's see. Just to make sure we're getting them all. Space, inside, and space. There are 6 instances of the word inside. Page 33, when I walked the mile to school on a cold morning, my path took me right past the pie factory on First Street and French. It was hot inside by the stoves, so a giant fan would blow the aroma of fried pineapple pies right out there on the sidewalk in front of me. Then on page 35, she'd stay inside the house with her nose pressed against the window and watch. I think he was referring to his grandmother and her watching his maternal grandmother watching the Indians in when she lived in Fort Worth back in the olden days. Page 69, but I knew it was time to get serious about something because my potential was about to burst inside of me. Page 78, upon me without a scar, that's a continuation of something, upon me without a scar or even a bad dream, but has provided a profundity of emotion that still dwells deep and resonates inside of me, almost like a missed heartbeat. Oh, that's one of his more poetic sentences. Page 110. In the next, after all of the students were inside and counted, and I was introduced, the teacher started for the coffee pot in the back room. They would take about 4 steps, and then the alpha teacher would turn around. Page 131, a little of me is also inside the box. He's referring to the treasure chest. There must be a few Indiana Jones types out there like me, ready to throw a bedroll into the pickup, in the pickup and start searching. Okay, So 6 instances of the word inside. Okay, let me make sure. Oh, I got some more messages. Well, that's good. All right. So, oh, Holly says, "You're awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. You're awesome too for asking." Fast Eddie wants to know boots, as in boots on the ground, maybe. Let's see what we've got. Space boots, space boots, space. No instances of the word boots in the book. Let me try it again just to make sure. Oh, sorry, one match. I put 2 spaces in front of it, that's why. And this is from Memoir for Me on page 87. When my parachute opened, I remembered being surprised by the sudden silence, although it made me suspicious. As pre-planned, I took a picture of the blossomed parachute above me, the jungle through my boots below me, and the plane before it crashed. All right, so what do we got? Faith Hunter here, can you please look up Ford? And it's capitalized, so we're going to do the capital Ford, meaning Miss Ford. We'll capitalize that. Ooh, 13 matches for Ford. So I'm not going to read these. I'll just give you the pages and how many entries. On page 23, this is Jumpstarting the Learning Curve, where he talks about his experiences in school. Page 23, there are 4 instances. 3, 4. The next one is on page 24. There are 3 instances. Page 26, 1 instance. So it looks like they're all compressed, like page 27, 1 instance. Page 31, 1 instance. Page 32, 1 instance. Page 45, In Love with Yellowstone, he moves on, and there's an instance there on page 45. And then the last one is on page 55, and this time it's not a reference to Miss Ford, it's a reference to Skippy's Model B Ford. The other references were to his Spanish teacher. 13 matches. So there's that one. So this is from Paul from Texas. I think that's Ammons, right? Paul Ammons. He wants to know window. Paul, I do need to know if you want the word. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do the word window because I know there are instances. I've done this search before. I know there are instances of the word windows. So these will be included in this search. Page 25, the word I was sure a window pane somewhere in Mississippi was about to break. Page 26, 2 instances at the bottom of the page. Looking out the big window that was adjacent to my desk. It was on the 2nd floor, and beautiful old iron slide-down fire escape was just outside the window. Then there are 2 instances on page. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the 2 instances on page 26. Then there are 2 instances on page 27. I'd quickly slip through the window and down and away. To Miss Ford, out the window meant out of sight. Then the next one is on page 35. She'd stay inside the house with her nose pressed against the window and watch. He's referring to his maternal grandmother again. Page 41. Sometimes when I wasn't too cold, I'd get even with my father for switching me by jumping out of the window by my bed. Chapter 42, Gypsy Magic. In the spring, when the weather was warm, I used to raise the window that was at the side of my bed and put my pillow on the sill. Page 42, Gypsy Magic. Oh, it's down at the bottom. If my head was in the window, I could hear the sound and instantly knew what it was. It was those gypsies. Page 46. On the page in which there's the illustration, one of the captions is, "My one-room cabin in paradise with curtains on the windows," plural. Let me clear my throat here. Just give me a sec. Page 47, second paragraph. In his big, beautiful yellow Cadillac, he rolled the window down and yelled, "You're canned." Which you have to admit for a kid is like, what does that mean? There's two instances on page 116. The billowing clouds seemed to frame the task ahead, and with a small window open, I enjoyed the ever-present aroma of sage and juniper. That must be the Olga story. I know, yeah. Olga's spirit was pleased when her white bone fragments filtered through the small window and softly floated down. And if you've ever tried to put anything powdery out of an aircraft, you discover that about half of it comes back in. The last one, it looks like, is on page 128. But just kept nodding and looking out let's see. She didn't answer. Which one is this? Just wasn't there. I tried to explain that my mother, the balcony. Oh, it was his mother. She didn't answer, but just kept nodding and looking out the window. Okay, so there's window. This is fun. I'm learning some new stuff from all this too. Okay, I think we are done at that point. Let me see. I'm going to scroll back here on this part. Yes and no. Word doc is page for the book, but didn't want them in the doc itself. Don't know what those are. I think you're having another conversation at that point. Okay. I think that's it, guys. So, Brit Chaser, who cannot send things, I wonder if big picture is in there too, as well as red. So I'm assuming that the red is the full word as opposed to all the possible combinations. So I'm going to do the full word. 3 matches of the word red. Page 59. So we remain a couple of horses. So we rented, a couple of horses from a friend and started up Red Canyon. That's his looking for Lewis and Clark. Then on page 98, he says, "We stop when the light is red and pay the gas bill when it is due." And then on page 115, he says, "She knew I wanted to expand my gallery space and declined, of course, so we laughed and drank red tea." Again, tea with Olga. So what was the other one, Britt? Big picture. I'm going to assume that it's space, big, space, picture, space. There is one instance of the word big picture on page 136. "My part will be very small in the big picture, but huge to me." So that's Dancing with the Millennium. Louis is coming in. Let's see. Please search for the word idea. We did that already, Louis. Oh, this is a second request. Please do a search for the word warm to help us get an idea of what Mr. Fenn thinks about the word warm. So I'm going to do that. Space, warm, space. I think I've done this one too. 5 matches. The first one is on page 40. But the first paragraph at the top of the page. "But the second the minute hand touched 8 o'clock, Father would give us a few seconds to warm our pillows." I have done this one before. The next one is page 111. They could understand, he's referring to the children that were in his gallery. They couldn't understand why it was so cold to the touch when it was in a warm room. Then on page 115, we're right back to tea with Olga. Olga was a delightful woman with a warm and giving heart. And then, of course, in the poem, "Begin it where warm waters halt." And then finally, and that was page 132. And then on page 141, Ode to Peggy Jean, no saint could match her faith, referring to Peggy. She and my daughters, Kelly and Zoe, provided warm comfort and encouraged me to fight the despair that so dampened my slowly passing hours. Yeah, I have done that search before. Sounds familiar, huh? Okay, let me see. Okay, so Louis would like me to do warm without the spaces. So how many do we have then? Let me see. So it says 10. Let me just find. Okay, so I'm going to give you the ones that don't have the spaces. In addition to the 5 that I gave you, there's 5 more. So page 42, in the spring when the weather was warm, comma. And page 60, the inside of my legs were raw most of the way down. This is Lewis and Clark. I found that riding behind the saddle on lightning's warm, comma, soft furry. Page 66, we decided that they must have been warm-up exercises. Like I said, I'm just going to give you the ones with punctuation in addition to. Rather than tell them the bronze fell cold to the touch because their hands were warm, comma, I asked them to consult their parents and write me a letter with the answer. Go down here. I think that's the 5 that we had missed. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that was the 5 additional that had some form of punctuation following the word warm, Louis. Faith Hunter. Oh, she wants me to look up the word bomb. Ooh, the word bomb. You know what? Let me go back. Hang on. I didn't do a space, so I'm assuming that it's... Okay, there are 12 matches for the word bomb. I won't recite the paragraphs. I will just tell you there's one on page 11 in the second paragraph. There is one on page 74 in one of the captions to the photos. In Germany, my squadron flew the F-100C and it sat on alert with an atomic bomb under my wing. Page 75, he again refers to, I sat alert with an atomic bomb under my wing. Page 76, after all the bullets and rockets and bombs had finished flying through the trade, etc. Page 80, but with 4 750-pound bombs. Page 81, on one mission in North Vietnam after dropping bombs and turning for home. Page 82, there are 2 instances, both ending in ing. Down in the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph. On the 1st of November 1968, all flying in the north stopped, and we started bombing in South Vietnam again and in Laos, but which was also dangerous air. President Johnson, who was now maneuvering for peace, was telling everyone at home that we weren't bombing the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Ooh, yes, we were. Page 83, aerial denial bomblets, and it's all both in the first paragraph. Held my high. I was to drop bomblets on each of 2 passes. That's the second one there. Okay, so 88, page 88. I had experienced the effects of Operation Arclight 3 B-52 bombers from Guam flying in formation at 30,000 feet had dropped 750-pound bombs. I experienced an Arclight on the ground, which was interesting. And then, so that's it. Those are the 12 of 12 instances, including bomb, bombs, bombing, and bomblets, and bombers. So the 12, there's 5 different variations of the 12 instances. All right. Let me see if I make sure I don't have any more text messages. Another one from Paul Ammons. Paul wants to know about the word black. Black is black. So, Paul, this is one of I'm gonna do the space black space. So 6 matches of black. Page 38, usually guys who were wearing black hats. Page 76, second paragraph on that shiny black war memorial. He's talking about the Vietnam War Memorial. Been there more than once, actually. Page 106, the two of them talked me into giving $5,500 for a black and white painting, oil painting by Gilbert Gall. Yeah, we've talked about that, haven't we? Page 106, I'm sorry, 106, a second instance. Gall, referring to the Gilbert Gall black and white. Page 115, tea with Olga. So we sipped black tea and nibbled on Oreos. And then page 141, ode to Peggy Jean. Last paragraph, Peggy's, let's see. They nursed my weakened confidence all along the mucky trail that I thought was disappearing into the black abyss of medical odds. He does wax poetic on occasion, doesn't he? Okay, I don't see any others. Wow, Erin's pretty judgmental, isn't she? Interesting. Erin of the Judgment. Okay, I think that's it for today. Let me make my transition out here, put the outro up. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. We will not be back on this channel next Thursday. I don't know how else to say that. Because we're using that time for something else, and we hope you accept the fact that we've got to start making plans for when this treasure is found, and we have to explore other opportunities. So thanks for joining me today. We will see you. Well, watch for the "It's All About You" video number 16 tomorrow at 1 p.m. It is a pre-recorded video rather than a live stream, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow night on the Forrest Fenn Friday Fandango, okay? And otherwise, have a really good Thursday. I have had thus far a good Thursday, and I hope yours is just as good.